the dark side of real estate lead generation in 2026. Why are more agents flooding to buy more leads, but still feeling more burnt out?
Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things real estate, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success. I am your co-host, Curtis Haddock, alongside Casey Tuter and Brooke Massey. If you guys like today's content, subscribe, like, comment, share,
Please share.
and come back and see us.
Yeah.
We're
week.
sharing, so you should share.
Right. Even though I did not know what we were going to talk about 5 minutes ago, this is an episode I am quite passionate about.
Well, it's a good thing you're passionate about it, because then you just wouldn't have been able to say anything.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, talking
Learning
about,
it just 5 minutes ago.
That's
We're
right.
so unprepared, we're prepared.
well, yeah,
Or the opposite.
I'm prepared.
Always.
Talking about free leads and what that really means
Free leads.
in the industry. And we're going to kind of pull that curtain back and talk about kind of the dark side of it and what especially new agents are not considering.
There's free leads,
Oh,
Casey?
always. Just join the right brokerage or, the right team and they'll be free.
Just make sure you read your independent contractor
Thousands.
agreement.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars that are just going to be handed
It reminds
to you.
me. It reminds me of that commercial or the it was a YouTube video of this kid. The parents are picking him up from his job, and it was his first paycheck, and he's all like excited, and the parents are like, "Yeah, open that check up," and he looks at it, and he's like, he just like his face just goes blank, and the dad's like, "What? Not what you expected?
Yeah.
You forget about Uncle Sam?"
Yeah.
And the kid was like not having it. He was super
Yeah.
pissed off. And the parents just got so tickled over it, because he got
Yeah.
his first lesson.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's a lot what these leads are kind of like. These free leads are like.
Except I think
That's a
most
good
people,
analogy.
I think most people know that what they're giving to Uncle Sam in this situation, and they're still choosing to do it.
Well, and then,
For the most part.
which is even crazier because then when they see it, they're like, "I get what?"
Yeah, that's true. I do hear that response all the
I
time.
think it's because they just want a lead so bad.
Yeah.
Even if you tell them, it's like, "Okay, great, who cares?" And then
Yeah.
they get the check and they're like, "Man, I worked really hard for that."
Well, the very-
Yeah, and I saw what the agent on the other side is making, and
Just very narrow-minded people. I think you just said it. People just focus on the lead, it's crazy how many agents are like, I don't like math, and I'm like, well, you should, because
I mean, you got to know a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, one, you run a business, and number two, you got to make sure you know the math for your clients.
Yeah,
But-
even if you don't like math, you need to do the math.
yes,
But okay, so today, here's what we're talking about: the lead gen traps that are costing agents the most in 2026. And there are traps, but there's also some good ones out there, and we can touch on that as
Good
well.
traps?
And you got not good traps,
So
but
say-
you know,
It's kind of like my wife.
yeah,
good trap.
good strategies
Yeah.
that you could utilize.
I don't know if that's a good compliment or not.
It is. I'm blessed.
I didn't really.
Sorry, I was making out a joke out of something.
Yeah, I didn't really hear. I'm gonna make sure that your wife watches this episode.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what you said, but
Just into that one
wasn't-
part. And
I'll
there's
make
no
sure I'll get a
context.
short of just that.
that's
Oh,
what I
God.
was gonna say. Yeah, and then post that and
That'd
share
be
it.
the one she watches.
Tag her.
Why more leads is not the answer, and boy, do I have a lot to say about that one.
Ooh.
And then time versus results in real estate marketing. What is your true cost per lead when you consider the time that it takes to go and get that
That's
lead?
right.
Define marketing.
Yeah,
Define lead.
both of
Yeah.
those
All the
things.
things.
So let's start with the lead gen traps that are costing agents the most in 2026.
Buying leads without strategy. That's a great one.
That is a good one. I think a lot of people are guilty of that too.
Oh, yeah.
They see other people that make it work with leads, and then they're like, "Well, I want to do that."
Hmm. It's to me, it's kind of like buying a gym membership without a plan. Like a plan to go, a plan when you get there, what kind of exercises you can do. You're like, hey, look, I'm just gonna go join a gym, and then everything's gonna be cool.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out as it goes. Now, that could work, but not for most people.
Right.
Well, I think people do get stuck. It's a numbers game, which it is a numbers game. but you can have a little bit of strategy because the conversion rate, like with most like leads, as far as like internet leads, is like 1 to 3%, 7% if you're really good at it, right? But if you can get to 7%, I mean, you have a strategy essentially. But people have to break that down, and people just call people. Nope, okay, go on to the next one. And I've talked to so many agents, and I'm like, if you would have just asked a couple more questions, you probably could have converted it versus calling 20 more people.
Well, so what I have learned as far as the strategy goes is you have to put a follow-up plan together.
Yes.
If you are I think what people are expecting with leads is that their phone rings and they pick up and they got this buyer that's ready to go.
Yeah.
They're ready to go look at houses. They're pre-approved and like let's go put a house under contract.
Mm-hmm.
The people who succeed with leads, they have a follow-up strategy in place. Essentially, especially for the ones that don't answer. Do you know how many buyers that you can convert just from the people who don't answer your initial call?
Yes.
If you were to put some sort of like, 2-week plan in place where you contact them every day trying to get a hold of them, and then if you still don't reach them, then you put them on some sort of like weekly drip.
Yes.
After that. So the first 2 weeks, you're just trying to contact them and get a hold of them. And just doing that, you're going to get a hold of a few of them.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't mean they're all going to buy, but you're going to get a hold of some and some of them will buy. Then you put them on this drip. Well, the longer you do that, then a year goes by and all of a sudden somebody calls you up out of the blue that came through a year ago. And they're like, yeah, you've been sending me some stuff, and we're now ready to kind of to pull the trigger. Well, a lot of people don't have that plan, and so they miss out on thousands of potential dollars. And they already bought the lead. They spent all this money getting the lead, and then when it doesn't convert the way they're hoping, they give up within a couple 2-3 months, and they're done because they didn't have a strategy.
Yep.
A follow-up strategy. Some people you'll convert right away, start looking at houses and put a contract.
And that's what we all want.
Yeah. But when we don't get that, people just kind of think the other ones are not important.
Whoa. Go ahead.
Okay. That happened to me yesterday. I got a call on the way home, and this guy was like, hey, this is Robert and April Young. Do you remember us? And I'm like, yeah. So they met me at a house in my neighborhood like 6 months ago, and the house smelled like weed because apparently that's what you do before an open house is you smoke weed before you leave. So whenever your realtor and the buyers show up, they have something to talk about.
They'll remember the house a little bit better.
Yeah, so
No, they do.
Or forget the house.
What to do before your open house.
Yeah, he said, so you remember us? We met you at the pot house. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And
How can I forget?
Anyway, so I followed I got his wife's number, and then she ends up following me. We end up following each other on social media. I noticed that she's liking my posts.
Do we need to send this part to your wife too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I noticed she's liking my posts, and then I had shared that link with her to look at houses, and I noticed that she had liked a couple.
Yes.
But they were ready to move this summer, and this was last fall. And anyways, long story short, just a very few interactions, but enough to know like, okay, my strategy is with this person, I'm not going to bother them because they're not so far out, but I'm going to engage just enough. And I think they kind of agreed. And they told me, they said, we have met dozens of agents because all we've been doing is going to open houses, which I told them they didn't have to do. Just call me.
Yeah.
But they've continued to do it, and they go, but you're the one person who like really stuck out in our mind. I said, it's probably because I got you high. But anyways, I'm showing them house. Their lease is up, and they want to go look at some. So we're going.
Did they tell you why you stood out besides you helping them get high?
He was pretty.
Yeah, because I'm cute.
Well, the stuff that's not a given.
I'll ask him today, Curtis.
Yeah,
you should.
I want to know not the stuff that's not a given, like the.
I'll say, so what
pretty
about me
factor.
do you like?
Yeah. Was it my muscles? Was it
What is it?
Oh God.
Was it the beard? Was it my hat?
If I had to guess without asking them, it would be because I come from a more of a laid back position.
Yeah.
And I am friendly, and I just give them education, and I never like one of the best tricks you can do is tell someone that they don't have to buy that house. Like I don't care what you guys buy, and I don't care when you buy.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be in business for the next however many years. You guys I'm on your timeline, and that immediately I think takes the pressure off of them.
I will contest, because when you and I first met, you totally gave that vibe. You came over to me. You're really chill, real laid back. We connected over my wood watch. You had
I thought it was my wood watch.
well, maybe, I don't know. No, I had a wood watch.
It was my wood watch.
Maybe.
Maybe you both had one, and that's why you connected.
Well, we were both into it, right?
was the only one
But
who
he was
had
just
no.
real chill and like real supportive, and then just that was it. And then we became friends on social media, and then here we are, business partners now.
Thanks.
So I definitely agree.
I'm going to change the subject into another lead trap that I just thought
Yeah,
about.
this episode is not about me.
I want to say one thing real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think.
Okay, so now we're going to.
I'm going to smack you. You guys,
This is
again,
what
you
she
guys
talks
like
about
my.
every time that we gang up.
We cut. And
You're like.
come back. We're all tousled from a fight.
Yeah.
You guys are
Have
like
you
my
watched-
little brothers, but you're older than me.
Have you watched any of our episodes? You know that we cut some of your segments out.
Probably.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Probably.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, like sometimes I hate relating to what we do for a living as a sales industry, because I think people, like even clients, have like just a perception around it. Which yes, it is sales. I'm not saying that, but it's like people like as agents get into this and they're just like sell, and it's like they forget you're trying to build a business too.
Relationships.
You build relationships, and like what I have learned, not even just in real estate, like just connecting with other business owners and clients, like even if they're opening a coffee shop, like most of the time it starts to become successful because of relationships that they've made.
Yeah.
And it's not always like the fancy flashy things that you provide. Yes, those help and help bring attention in different ways, but still just having a plan and just remembering to build a business and not just sell everything.
Well, I mean, to that point, leads can be a great way to be introduced to people to start building that relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
If you do it the right way. One of the traps that I'm seeing it a lot now. I just had another one come across my social media feed 2 days ago. And it's the same pitch almost every time.
Is it AI?
There's some that are very, very AI, and you can tell it's AI. But some people cannot pick up on it. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me what people see. How we can, and now I'm not going to get into it. But like we could watch the same video and same thing, and it's just crazy how people see two totally different things.
Yeah.
This happens on sports, just on crazy plays, which
I keep making these random AI videos and I just get so many views on them, and it's crazy how many conversations that I have. I had another one, and it's just, anyways, I'm not trying to get into it, but it's just crazy.
Okay, so but I get people that will do an advertisement, and they lead the advertisement with, aren't you tired of cold calling, door knocking, and sitting open houses and networking? It's like, but then they say whatever their name is. We'll just say John. But John, my real estate coach told me that I should be, hustling, and it's all about the numbers and cold calling. Well, no offense to your coach, but there's a better way to do this. You can forget all of that stuff. And it doesn't even cost you any money. And I'm like, give me a break. Well, first of all, they're going to have to pay you for your secrets that you supposedly have.
Yeah.
And then
take my free class.
Yes. And then they're probably selling some sort of either a marketing campaign like what they're doing to pick up agents, right? And so you're going to have to pay for ads, or some sort of webinar where it's like, can you imagine, like, stop meeting with one buyer at a time and getting those calls. Like, what if you could meet with 100 buyers at the same time, all in your first time home buyer webinar,
and then you'll sell 60 of them.
Now listen, I think that you could build a cool webinar platform where if you, but you have to put money into it so that people know about it, and that when that you're hitting them at the same, you have to hit people that are looking to buy a house at the same time and get them to your webinar. Not a lot of people have the charisma and the ability to create that on camera to get people to do that, right? So, but they're
You're more
selling
likely
it
to be able to do that if you've already helped people buy and sell, and
if you have experience,
right.
And then I'll hear them say in the video, now listen, even though those old dated methods I made, we did those and that's how we know, but we made thousands of dollars on those methods. So I'm not. They're
But
they're
this
trying.
is
They're trying to
better.
they're trying to justify. Like, I'm not saying that like those don't work because they know that that's how they built their whole business, and now they're trying to sell this other platform to people because they're just trying to make money by selling this secret idea that they think no one else has.
Right.
It's like, but if it was so great, you would be so busy working clients because of it, making a lot more than what you're getting people to pay you for these secrets.
It makes it so hard for people like us to actually do good in the world and actually like really help people, because we're like, we will help you for free. Like,
There's
essentially
too much propaganda.
and
too
then
much,
people are
yeah.
like, because we don't charge for it, we don't charge as much. People are like, this is fishy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Irritating.
I mean, maybe we should just start charging a ton, and people
I was
will be
thinking
like,
about
there's
that
a bunch
too.
of. I mean, there's the psychology to that,
There is, because it's like people want the convenience because they want the easy way, so that's the draw. But then also too, when people go and pay for something as well, they feel like they're investing in themselves,
Yeah.
and it's
There's
like
there's
And
there's
they
so
don't want
many
to lose
like
the money.
yeah, and so I mean we've done it right and
sure.
done different things, but it's just crazy.
our industry is really hard though because
It's
of the
so
type of people that get into it.
Like, you think you're coming into this industry to sell people, but really you're the biggest target that people are going to sell products and info and all kinds of stuff to.
Yeah. So this is kind of random, but for all the people out there that do not like realtors or think that you don't need them, you guys just keep doing what you're doing, because that's why we have jobs, because people are people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to change that, then figure out a way to change people, and then you may not need realtors anymore.
Ooh. Mic
But
drop.
if you can figure out how to change people, let me in on it, because then we can make a lot more money doing that.
That was like a conspiracy theory. That's where my brain went. I'm like, I won't even say it on camera.
Yeah.
That's how we get less views.
What's next?
Well,
The
is there any more traps
traps.
that you guys want to talk about?
Well, I just want to say, like, define a lead. That's what I always tell people, because a lead is a lead is a lead. I don't care if it's a internet lead, a Zillow Flex lead, a for sale by owner, an expired, an open house. There are still people. You still have to figure out their motivation of what they're trying to do. You still have to tell them how awesome you are as an agent and why they should use you. It's all the same thing. It's just people have this like psychology, I guess, or mentality of like where the lead comes from, that you have to do less things.
It's a simplicity. Like, that's the psychology behind it. It seems less work.
Yes.
And in some extent, you could maybe argue it's a little bit less work, but not by much. Not by much. So, I think that that one, you're jumping to the third point on that one. That's okay. We can go ahead and jump to that one, because I mean, time versus results is what you consider when you're talking about what is a lead. So in their mind, it takes less of their time to get the result that they want, which is why a lead sounds so attractive. And it can be, again, if you have the right strategy in place.
Somebody could be ready to buy a house right now, and then they clicked your button.
Yeah, what we talk about is like, okay, well, what's the difference between somebody calling you off the internet versus showing up at an open house, and 6 months later you're now going to sell them something, right? Yeah. You still had to follow up with them, got their information, talk to them, learn more about them, and they weren't ready right then. They were ready 6 months down the line.
Right.
Even though they told you it was going to be 9 or 10 months, that we know how that goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Same thing is true with these free leads that people are looking for, most of the time they're not ready right then and there. It's going to be several months later.
Yeah.
And so your time invested in it is the same.
Mhm.
The biggest difference between an open house lead and an internet lead is the setup. It takes a lot more energy
You got to plan it.
to,
You got to get
you got
cookies and water.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't have to,
You
but
got to do all that. But
I just made it sound worse.
I know. But I mean, just the idea of scheduling it, going and putting your signs out, and just showing up. Not even talking about doing your previews and getting prepared beforehand, like all of that stuff. Which is probably, and people skip a lot of that stuff, which is why they're
Because you're
open
not getting
houses.
paid for it.
That's because they're open houses. But we know you
They
do
get
get
the
paid
ick.
for it, right?
Well, yeah, but they don't.
They don't think
They don't look at it
they
that
don't
way.
think that you do. Which is also why people who get buyer leads that they're not ready right now, they think that they're not getting paid for that follow up time, and they just why they don't follow up.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee, so why do it?
Man,
Yeah.
leads are such a smart business idea. Just
Yeah.
saying. Like it's creating because of just how people think, like the instant gratification. Like I was just thinking about how drawn out it is to do an open house, but all you gotta do is let your phone ring and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna go show a house,
Yeah.
And so it's it's so smart.
But that's the other trap, I feel like. Back to point one, we had to define a lead, but back to point one, the other trap is that there are so many people that see it as a business opportunity because so many agents are willing to just give you thousands of dollars for this idea of leads. So not only are they not having a strategy, but now they're not even putting their money into good quality lead systems.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is if there are some lead systems that are way better than others. And we're not gonna say names right now on that, but
Is it? No, I'm kidding.
a lot of people know some good ones, and some people
Is
have
it Starfish?
Some people have different feelings about different ones, right? But if you guys are interested in what we think are the good lead systems, comment and then we'll let you know.
That's right.
Or email us.
Or email us, reach out in any capacity. All right, we'll let you know. But what was the point I was trying to make? So everyone wants to do this as a business because they know people are willing to just pay for this idea of a lead. If I were to call a majority, and by majority I mean 90% of the lead companies that are out there, or the random agents that think that they can now start this lead company, right? If I were to offer them thousands of dollars to give me leads, they're gonna take it, right? And if they do a good job marketing themselves, and if more and more people are willing to pay them money, they're going to take your money. Okay. But those lead companies, even if they had good, some leads, right? They're now giving those leads to multiple people.
Oh yeah.
Right. So they are they're overselling the market.
Mm-hmm.
The good lead companies, they know how many connections or how many inquiries, whatever their system is for generating leads, they know how many people are reaching out to their site.
Yeah.
Every month, every quarter, or whatever. Okay. So then they should know how many leads they should be able to sell for those areas. They don't, most people don't do that. The good companies, they limit how many people they sell it to.
Yes.
And then what ends up happening is those people that are in it, they get results because they're the ones who are only getting the leads, and it's not oversaturated. So now they're talking about this lead company saying, I'm doing really well with such and such. So I hear you and I'm like, oh man, I want that. So I call and that lead company says, we're sold out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We don't have anything available. Now what they've done is there's now a demand for leads where the supply is lower. So when you have a lower supply but a higher demand, it increases the cost and the price for those leads. So the lead companies that are able to do that, they tend to have a lot more success.
It's like-
whereas most people who get started think, I just need to get money from anyone, everywhere, and just sell them to everyone.
How would somebody even go and try to figure out what company? Because I mean, you have a real point. Because like leads aren't bad, right? We already said it. A lead's a lead, a lead. It doesn't matter where you get it, but just be smart about it and have a strategic plan. But how would somebody even go and like if they're looking to go buy leads, how would they even know what company to even try and go to? Because it is so saturated and like they say like, oh no, we have the best leads. Like it's everywhere. No one's ever honest about it.
Yeah, so
Even on Facebook groups.
Yeah, do your due diligence. I'm leery about the Facebook groups because I feel like that they're like there's plants for the company that in there that are talking about sharing all the numbers that they're getting with them.
There's one
like,
particular that is like an affiliate, and so that's why realtors in those groups just go and push those every time.
Yeah, and I'm just like it's
in every
just,
post,
which is smart for that lead company, but it's like, what are you actually doing?
But they're oversaturating it, right? So
it's like a pyramid scheme.
What you really need to do, what you really need to do is you need to ask. You definitely need to talk to the company and get a feel for how they're answering the questions.
And be careful because they're real salesy.
They're going to be salesy, and there's a good chance that the companies that are oversaturating, they're going to lie to you anyways. But try to like ask tough questions and see how they answer. Do they stutter? Do they have a good answer for it, or are they just
avoid it?
Are they talking around it?
Oh yeah, because that happens a lot in sales.
Yeah. Now I don't think that you could learn right away because even the good companies that are out there, they're obviously going to tell you what they do, and it's going to sound good, right? But I think you can get a good feel for the company. I've been duped by several lead companies, but then on one of them where I wish I would have done was gone to review forums, right? And gone and looked at what other agents, not in social media groups, but just what places where it's meant just for reviews, and looked for reviews from other agents to see what their complaints were about. Now, typically you're going to see more negative than positive, so keep that in mind, even about good ones. But what are the negative things that people are saying, right?
And is it emotional or factual?
Right. And then I think another thing you can do is research like the Better Business Bureau and see how many complaints and versus resolved complaints they have. There was one lead company that duped us whenever I did all that research after the fact. They had so many complaints and things of like people they still their money back guarantee was fake, and because they know that people aren't going to sue them for X amount of dollars, this is just not worth it, right? And the agreement that you sign, you have to sue them in the state that they're operating in. And so upon further research, you also find out that this lead company actually was a different name a couple years prior that shut down and just reopened as another name because they shut down because they did have a bunch of lawsuits against them their name because of how they were operating, and then they reopened and they're doing the same thing just under a different name because they know that people are still going to be willing to throw their money at it for this thought of getting leads.
That sounds
research.
like a lot of work.
It is. I mean, but if you're going to give somebody
if you're gonna pay,
thousands of dollars, do the research. Do it because it's a lot more work to put these to come up with a follow-up system and a plan, and you're doing your 14-day follow-up, and then you're doing your drip, and then 6 months in, then you realize all of a sudden that it's all a waste. That's a lot more work. You know? Do the upfront work, and you'll save yourself a lot of headache and time on the back end. Call agents in your market. Hey, have you ever used this company? Have you heard anything about them?
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Try to get some unbiased opinions, and if they never have had an experience with that company, then be very leery of what they say because it could be bias.
Yes.
That's right.
So yeah, that's how I would approach that topic.
I feel like that's good because it's just a lot.
Yeah. Why are more leads not the answer?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it just depends on what your goal is. Uh, if you want to build a business, and if you want to, um, have something like like you want to build a legit, true business lead, you could get stuck in a lead system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you just got more and more and more and more leads, not that that's going to necessarily you could build a good lead business, but you better be prepared to be a slave to your phone forever,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're always responsible for fielding leads.
Unless you sell enough houses that then you made enough relationships and then you're finally referral based. But
Well, I was
it's
gonna,
not
well,
impossible.
but most people don't. That's what I'm saying.
That burnout.
Put systems in place. That was
Yeah.
gonna be my next point. Is put systems in place so that you are getting your referrals and repeat business from those leads, because you can sell enough to where now you've built a referral based business and you're not relying on being on call for 12 hours a day for leads.
Yeah, then you can turn your phone off at 7 p.m. or
But a lot of
whatever.
people, they don't put those drip systems in place for after the sale.
Yeah.
They make a sale and then they move on to the next lead.
Yep.
And so it's not more leads that is the answer. It's
You can,
how are you treating the leads that you're working?
yeah, because you can get caught in a turn and burn mindset, and that's
Most people
when
do.
you go into like, your ethics can even get challenged. It's like, man, we just got to get this deal closed, and get on to the next one. Instead of think like we have to do whatever we have to do to make it right for this client, whether or not we get paid or not. Like it's just a completely different thought
Mindset.
process.
It is.
Yeah.
And when you have that thought process of like taking care of the customer, then it's not a guarantee, but there's a good chance that's going to turn into multiple sales down the line. Not just them buying from you in 5 years, but everyone that they know. Man, this agent, I cannot tell you how they protected me. And when people hear that, they go, that's who I want in my corner.
Oh, yeah, and
know?
you will win so big by just doing it that way. Because going back to so many people have the mindset of just sell, 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 and turn and burn. It's like that's you can be successful, but at the end of the day, if you really separate yourself and really just take care of people, I feel like you're just going to be that much more impactful. They may introduce you to, they feel trusted to introduce you to their uncle that is a millionaire or something and has a bunch of rental properties he wants to
They
offload.
want them to have the same experience.
Yes.
I had the mindset sell, 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 and be direct and use your sales skills to convert. Once it's converted, now it's listen.
I like that. That's really good.
And take care of them, because now they've committed to you. They've signed. They trust you. Now that they've put their trust in you, it's time for you to listen for their needs, what they're needing, what they want, and help them feel safe and secure. You're going to take care of them, and if they can feel that from you, then that's how you win. And then stay on their radar after the sale.
Yeah, and for people who don't know what you're saying, Curtis, I'll tell a quick story of how you don't want to be. I called a website builder to see. I was just inquiring because they don't put the price on it, which means it's expensive.
Yep.
Right.
And so basically, it was $500 a month for them to build me this interactive website. That would have been awesome. But they asked me so what do you need? What are your needs? And oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And then basically his whole approach after that was like, well, so he's like, you ready to do this thing? And I'm like, no, I'm going to think about it. And he's like, well, we met all your needs. I asked you what you needed and you told me, so what's the problem?
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I'm not ready to sign with you because I was just calling to get a price. And now I want to think, and I don't think I want to pay that every month.
Right.
For a site that I don't own.
Yes.
And he was just like, well, if you don't want, more exposure and SEO and this and that, it's like, look, dude,
He's creating doubt.
I was like, the more you talk to me, the less likely I'm going to be.
I hate being sold.
Yeah. So it's like, but that's what you don't want to do to people.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't want to sell people that way.
I had I've bought a car from the same car place twice.
Uh-huh.
And the warranty guy that's after, they're probably more salesy than the car salesman,
Oh,
to
yeah.
be honest with you. And the first time we went in there, like, he really tried to sell us on a warranty. But I'm just one of those people, I don't buy a warranty. I've had family members in the car business, and they're like, don't buy it. It's just an upsell and whatever else. So anyways, so I'm like, dude, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty stubborn. If I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, and then you try to sell me, it gets so annoying. So the second time I went and tried to buy a car, now I'm in sales this time. And so I'm like, I got this. He did the exact same thing, left and came back and said he talked to his manager. When he came back in and sat back down, I just looked at him. And Brittany was just sitting right there, my wife. And she was like, and he was like, okay. And then he finished the paperwork and just finished it off.
I'm always like, hey, look, I'm like, you can step out. And I was like, he's like, I'm going to step out and talk to my manager. I'm like, look, dude, you take your time because I've got like 50 emails I have to get to. Like, you're not gonna wear me down. I plan, like, if I buy a car, I plan for all day.
Yeah.
And I just bring my computer, I plug it up, and I just get to work.
Well, and that's what I came in with, and I was like, dude, I already know your sales tactic, and I was like, I need to like get in and out. Like, I'm not doing it. You're not going to sell me. And then he still tried to do it. And then that's when I just looked at him. He's like, okay,
listen to
yes,
this.
ma'am.
This is crazy.
That's surprising that he then just did it because they will always like, because even if you get that way, then the manager will come and talk to you. And they'll bring the manager out. No, I mean,
I think I brought my managerial look out, and I was like, no.
They know that by having multiple people talk to you, eventually you're going to cave because you get tired of saying no.
The only way to really win in a car deal, like to know that you feel like to get a deal, is you have to walk away. If you don't walk away and come back another day, then
that's buying the car. This was the warranty part. This is the
But
guy
you can
selling me the warranty.
Listen to this,
gotcha.
guys. I just
That's
learned this.
different.
This is not related to our episode, but buying a home warranty, buying a car warranty is one of the quickest ways to only have your car last for 100,000 miles. Because everything that they recommend, like the 10,000 miles, is only based on perfect driving conditions. So no dust, all highway miles going a certain speed.
Yes.
So what they
depends on the company.
So what they
do
is your, for example, they say you have lifetime transmission oil, you should replace it at 60,000 miles. But if you do that, then it voids your warranty. So, and there's all these things that you can improve your car's like actual long-term longevity, but that was a double long-term longevity. But if you do any of those things to your car, it voids your warranty, your extended warranty. So it's all planned.
That's why, like,
it's crazy.
My family members, and they like retired, and like they were like top salesmen. They're like, don't do it, never do it. And so, but I do know there are like some companies, like, I don't know, like I heard Genesis is like really good if you buy the warranty, but they have like white glove stuff. Like they go pick your car. They do a lot of
your
like
paint. Your paint will only
stuff.
last like 7 years. By the way, they use like an inferior paint
on Genesis. Well, whatever.
Any Hyundai product.
But I know there's like, well, they're not Hyundai anymore.
Well,
they used to be.
It depends who owns them all.
Yeah. But I know there are some that are actually really good, but most of the time they're just not. Just like anything, honestly. Leads are good, but some are not.
Yeah.
Fizbos are good, but some are not.
It's always tricky.
I don't like this. I don't like that we have to research. I wish I could chat GPT if this client's a good client or not.
Yeah. What's his chances of buying?
Yeah. Give me the likelihood of the conversion rate and what I have to do.
Yeah.
If we could make that, we'll just sell that.
Well, I mean, eventually ChatGPT will be able to predict, like, within a good, error differentiator, how likely someone is to, like, sell their house or whatever.
No, I want him to know them personally. Like, I want him to predict when I'm going to buy my next house.
No, they will be able to get within a good
range.
Well, if you've ever done a genetic test, your genes are out there for whoever wants it to do whatever they want with it.
We're about to go down a conspiracy.
So all the people that like thought math was stupid, like that's how good math. That's what math can do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All of this stuff. I mean, ChatGPT is math. The whole thing is math.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Should just know your math. You got to know more than what 3% of a sales price is.
That's
Or
right.
2% or 1%, whatever you charge. Or 8%.
I was like watching agents try to figure out
10%.
how much, like if they need to like adjust the price or whatever, and they're trying to do the math to see like, man, I can't think of the example I was going to use now, but
Do the math of how much commission they're going to make?
well, yeah, but basically what they're trying to do is figure out how much they need to come off the commission based on a certain price. So what's the moral of the story here today?
Tell us.
I think the moral of the story is
Leads are good and bad.
to
Balance.
yeah, I think you can look at. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to get business.
Have
I
a
think
plan.
that you have
gotta
to have a plan and
structure.
and do, like you said, do your research. And really, at the end of the day, if you're accepting leads or you're doing it in an organic way, it's all about building a relationship with that person. And if you can do it, you'll win no matter what. So that's what I have to say. I appreciate you guys listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Click the bell for future notifications. And we will see you guys next time. We're signing off. I'm Casey Tuter. This is Haddock and Brooke Massey.